Hey everybody, this is Favrion, and I hope you're all having a great day today. This is part 2 of my previous video, which is called 9 pop songs with ninth chords. If you haven't seen that video yet, I would recommend pausing this and watching that one first, as you may not completely understand what's going on in this video otherwise. I'm going to start off this video right, with a banger, with an absolute classic. Rock Your Body by Justin Timberlake. This song is in E minor. For the vast majority of this song, we only have 3 chords to worry about, which appear in the chorus and the verse. G major, A minor, and E minor. I'm going to talk about the chorus, which has the melody in it. Right away we start off with the B, which is in the chord. We briefly pass by this A. We don't have to worry about that because it's so brief. And then we land on the E, which would be a 6, but it's so quick that I'm not going to worry about it. There it is, friends, our first add 9 chord. This is E minor, add 9. That's essentially the chorus, and then the verse has these same chords, but JT sings different notes over them, he does different things, and it gets funky. So I'm not going to worry about that. Instead, we're going to talk about the bridge, which is where we start to see more exotic, jazzier ninth chords. The first chord of the bridge is G add 9. But for this playthrough, I'm going to add the major 7, which transitions into C major 7. Which is another inversion. I'm going to play like this. We go into D major, E minor 7, and then for the first loop, we go into A minor 7, which I'm playing like this, but you can also play like this. Another inversion. For the second loop, instead of this A minor 7, we go into F major 7. This F is not in the key of E minor. I would say we're borrowing this from A minor. After that, we go into the loop, and we have the A minor 7 again, and then we drop into this. This, my friends, is C minor 9, which if we stick to the trend of minor keys, we are borrowing from G minor, which has the B flat and the E flat. Then finally, we go into this, which is a C6-9. And if you play through the entire bridge, which is my favorite part of the song, we get this. And that's the entire song. Now is the time when I ask, what is the point of the ninth chords in this song? Why include them at all? In the previous video, I talked about Can't Stop the Feeling, also by JT. For that song, I talked about how JT was raised on the traditions of blues and R&B and jazz music. He grew up on that, so it's natural for him to use that influence in his songs. Plus, it just makes it super funky. For this next song, we're going to talk about Watermelon Sugar by Harry Styles. This song is in C major. The first chord that we encounter is D minor 7. Then we go into A minor 7, C major, G major. Those are all the chords of the song. It's a pretty simple, relaxing vibe, which is what the song is going for. Those are the chords that feature in the chorus and the verse. So Harry peaks on this D and lands on this C, both of which are in the chord. D, C. For this next line, he kind of sticks around on this D a little bit, which would be an added 4th or added 11. I'm just going to call this one C major, then we go to G major. He doesn't sing over it in the verse, but in the chorus and the pre-chorus, which I'm about to discuss, he does sing over it. But in the pre-chorus, we have this. So far it's alright because they all fit within the confines of the chord. We have the A. G is not in the chord, but he just passes by it really quickly, so I don't have to worry about it. And D is the root of the chord. We have G, F, which he passes by really quickly, and D. Oh, here it is. Here's the add 9 that we're looking for. So this is C major with the added 9. Then we go to G major, and the D is in G major. So there is a couple exotic chords in this song, I'll say. We have that one add 4 and 11 chord, and then we have this add 9 chord. The reason why I brought up this song is because of Charles Cornell's video, which analyzed this song. He said that the producers kind of chose random chords and random melody notes, but I kind of disagree with that because the whole point of the song is to be a free-flowing, vibey, relaxing song. Think of this as the waves on the ocean, just kind of going through whichever chord is in the key that sounds good to play next, and then throwing another melody note over that which is in the key also. It may seem random to him at least, but to me I feel like it goes with the vibe of the song. Let's buckle up for this next song, which is Drive by Incubus. This song is in E minor. The first chord is E minor. I'm playing an extra E on top to prepare us for this. Now what is this? That's a very fancy sounding chord. This is the full-on E minor 9 chord, except I'm playing it like this. So we're not just adding a 9, we're throwing in a full 9 chord, which takes us into C major 7. And then we have a chord called A7 sus2, which leads us back into E minor. Those are all the chords for the chorus and the verse. Then there's also the pre-chorus, which starts off with the C major 7. It takes us here. This is the A7 without any kind of suspensions on it. This is a full-on A7 chord. We're borrowing it from B minor. The C sharp adds a little bit of life and dimension to the song. It takes it outside of the key just for a second, and then you drop back into the regular key. It's just a little adventure, just like a drive is an adventure. And this song is about driving through your life without fear, and what it would be like to live your life without any kind of fear. Maybe I can explain why there's 9th chords in this weird A7 chord in this song, because this song is living without fear. They're fearless. They don't care that chords are outside the key. They're using them anyway. And that's how the speaker of the song wants to live their life. The next song is Ho Hey by the Lumineers. It's in C major. When I analyzed this song for this video, I didn't expect that the music and the lyrics would connect into such a tight-knit story so well. This is a great example of what I would call really good songwriting. Songwriting where you have the lyrics and the music working together and not just two separate entities, one playing over the other. The melody of this song, except for two specific spots, always sticks within this parameter of the major pentatonic scale. There's a couple moments when the singer leaves that scale, and it aids the story that the song is trying to tell. The first chord is C major, and the rhythm of the strumming introduces us to the next chord. Right there. We quickly go by this F major chord as we strum, except the C is on the bottom. That's the inversion. So far we have C major, F major, and then we have A minor and G major later on. But those are the 4 chords of the song. But it's deceivingly simple because of the way the lyrics and the music interact. Now let's bring in the melody. Here we are. There's our first add 9 chord. We have this C add 9 here. Notice as I play the melody that we're skipping over F and B. We're not playing those at all. Even as we end the verse, we do this. That's the end of the first verse. And then the end of the second verse goes like this. Here's the B. I thought we were skipping over the B because it's not in the major pentatonic scale. Well, the B is in the chord, so it fits. But why are we singing it? I thought we were trying to avoid it. So my thought is that these tritones that we're skipping over are the depression that the speaker of the song is trying to escape. So the story of the song goes like, this is a man and a woman. The woman broke up with the man, and the man is really lonely and depressed now. He's in his bed, he doesn't know where he went wrong, and he's pleading to her like, what did I do wrong? I don't know. He thinks that the man that she went with instead of him is wrong for her based on their past. He's saying, imagine if we were in the city doing these things together, I know we would both be happy. I know we're both looking for happiness. When we're together, as I imagine it, we're both happy again. He's trying to find happiness. He's trying to avoid this clash represented by the tritone. So there's one moment where he slips and he sings the B, one of the tritones. He's singing, she'd be standing next to me. In his imagination, he's with her again. But there's this pang of sadness like, well, that's not the reality. Let's go into the chorus now. He lands on this A, which is in the chord. He lands on the G, which is in the chord. Then that repeats. Now let's talk about the bridge, which is where the story really starts to unravel for us. The first chord of the bridge is this F add 9 chord. He started off the entire song with this C add 9 right here. And And now we're starting off the bridge with this F at 9. The thing is, the root of this F is one of the tritones that we're trying to avoid. Thinking back to this strumming pattern from before, we quickly pass over that F, but that's very quick. He's trying to be happy, but you know, every once in a while, you feel that depression and then it goes away as you're trying to be happy again. What's happening here though is we're landing straight on this F chord, which has not been as prominent as it is in this very moment. And we have this G, which clashes with it. This G is in the major pentatonic scale, and this F is not. The happiness of the major pentatonic scale is interacting with the depression of this F that you're trying to avoid, the depression that you're trying to avoid. He's trying to find happiness for both of them. This is where the lyrics and the music start to come together, because when he sings this G note, the first time in the bridge he's saying love, the second time he's saying hope. This G is representing happiness, and this F is representing the despair and depression that they've both been going through. By singing over this with love and hope and wishing for happiness for both of them, he's overcoming this. Whereas if he were to sing the F like this, he's letting the depression take over completely. And to me at least, it sounds like after we come back from the chorus, we're in C major. If we land on this F and he's singing F, it sounds like we're in F now. It sounds like we've changed keys. It sounds like we've left the happy zone of C major and the C major pentatonic scale, and now we're entering this F major that we're trying to avoid because it contains our sadness. The music and the lyrics are coming together to overcome instead of succumb to the depression like this. This next one's gonna fly right by. I don't have that much to say about it, but since it's a pop song and it has a 9th chord in it, I had to include it. It's Hello by Adele. It's in F minor. There are only 4 chords in this entire song. We have F minor, D flat major, inverted, A flat major, and E flat major, inverted. That's it. Those are all the chords. Pretty simple, right? But for this song, I'm interested in hearing how the harmony changes when you include the melody in the chorus. On its own, the melody in the chorus goes like this. Notice how the second to last note is held over into the next measure, and then she drops down to the A flat. So to start off the melody, she has F, and then goes into A flat. Those are in the chord. She sticks to the A flat as we transition into D flat major, and this is in the chord. Then she moves up to B flat. This is the note she's going to hold over. It affects 2 different chords. This first chord, this D flat major, with this B flat added onto it, turns it into a D flat 6. And then she holds this D flat as we go into the A flat major, which turns this into an add 9. And then the chord goes into E flat major, but instead of dropping to G or E flat, she drops to A flat, which is totally not in the chord at all. That would make it an add 4 or add 11. Just this one note here affected the harmony completely. And then her choice to drop to A flat instead of a note that's in the chord changed the harmony again. This is what it would sound like if she stuck to chord tones. I get that if it's a background harmony, but as a lead vocal, it's kind of boring. That makes me wonder why she decided to hold over this note instead of doing something else. The song is a story about a woman who's trying to contact her ex, and she's been trying to contact him for a long time, and she said that she hasn't been doing all that well since they broke up or separated, but every time she's tried to contact him, he hasn't been there for her. She's kind of pleading to him at this point, like, hello, I'm here, I'm trying to contact you. Every time I try, you're never there. It's as if she's kind of pleading, she's holding this note over into the next measure to try to get your attention. So this is not supposed to be in this chord, but it's getting your attention. And same here. It's getting your attention because it stands out, and she's trying to stand out. This is going to be another relatively short analysis, but not as short as the previous one. This one is Counting Stars by One Republic. This song is in E major. The chords for this song are C sharp minor, E major, B major, and A major. For this song, I'm going to talk about 2 different melodies. The first one is the intro melody, which is not a voice, but some kind of whistly thing. And then the other melody is the chorus melody. This is the whistly one I'm talking about. We have this G sharp here, over the C sharp minor, and this is in the chord, so it's fine. It jumps kind of to a 7th, Then we go into E major, but we land on this F sharp. So now this is an add 9. We land on the F sharp again, but this time it's over B, and this is in the chord. We land on F sharp yet again, but this time it's over A major, making it an add 6. That's for the intro melody. Now let's talk about the main melody in the chorus. It's over the same chord, so let's break it down. We have this F sharp, which is not in the chord of C sharp minor. This is an add 4 or add 11. Then we go into this B again, and it's not a strong beat, so I'm going to call it a C sharp minor 7. And we go back to this F sharp. So we have an add 4 or add 11, and we also have this 7. Then we go into E major, which starts off with this F sharp on top, making it another add 9. The other notes are in the chord, so it's fine. B major. We land on this A, which makes it a B7. We land on E, but it's a passing note, so it doesn't matter. Then we go back to G sharp. Oh, that's a jazzy sound. That's an A major 7. Then these are in the chord. This is an interesting exercise. We have the same chord loop, but 2 different melodies, and they're both affecting the harmony differently, but this is still a 4-chord song. Well, 5 chords if you count the F sharp minor. That happens later. It makes you think about the melodies in songs and how they affect the chords. Sometimes they might seem arbitrary and haphazard. This kind of takes me back to the conversation before about Watermelon Sugar in the Charles Cornell video. I might argue this is kind of the same way, where someone might see it as random melody notes over these chords, which is why sometimes it sounds off. But I don't think that's true. This song is kind of about rebellion in the face of love, because the speaker of the song wants to live life without necessarily following all the rules, because he says whatever feels right is actually wrong, and vice versa. He just wants to live life with his partner without really worrying about the consequences, which is kind of rebellious for a pop song. Some of these harmonies, they're not really common in pop songs that you hear on the radio. It kind of is rebellious in a way, and it's also free-flowing. That's the life that the speaker wants to live. Alright, I already feel the hate comments streaming in. I already can see the dislikes piling up. We all knew this was coming. We saw Chad Kroeger's floating head in the thumbnail. We're about to discuss Photograph by Nickelback, the infamous meme song. There's a lot to unpack. Let's just start with the key, which is E flat major. Now, instead of going over all the chords beforehand, what I'm going to do is discuss the chords as I discuss the sections of the song. Chad Kroeger of Nickelback fame drops us straight into the first verse with this E flat major chord, which transitions us into a strange chord known as the B flat 7 sus 4. We drop back into the regular chord here. After that craziness, we have this D flat add 9, which takes us into A flat add 9 with this B flat. You may notice that I haven't even talked about the melody, yet we're talking about add 9 chords already. That's how crazy this song is. Which, speaking of that, let's talk about the melody. We start with the E flat, and then the melody goes like this. So we start up with the G, which is in the chord. It lands on this F, which is kind of a passing tone, so I'm not going to count it as part of the chord. However, this prepares us for the next chord, which is the B flat 7 sus 4. But before he sings, we drop back into the regular B flat 7. This F is in the chord. And he lands on this G on a strong beat, which would kind of turn this into a B flat 7 6. He lands on the E flat to prepare us for the next chord, D flat add 9, and the add 9 comes from the melody. It was already in the chord, but now he's singing it in the melody. And this B flat that he lands on is another passing tone, which prepares us for the next chord, A flat add 9. And again, the add 9's already in the chord, but he's singing it in the melody. And watch this jump from here to here. And then we jump up to this G. And if it weren't a passing tone to prepare us for the E flat again, this would turn it into an A flat major 7 chord. And that's the structure of the verse. Verse 1 and verse 2 are pretty much the same. But after each verse, we have a transition into the chorus. For each verse, the transition is different. This is transition number 1. We start off with this E flat sus 2 chord. But this chord is over G flat. And that takes us into A flat add 9 with this B flat. And that's transition 1. Transition 2 also starts with this E flat sus 2 chord, but this time it's over B. Next chord, D flat add 9. I hope I've been recording. So we've transitioned into the chorus, which starts off with the E flat chord, but with the incorporation of the melody, it turns into an add 9 chord. Throughout the chorus, he only sings 3 notes in the whole melody: E flat, F, and G. For this first line, the E flat and the G are part of the chord, but he starts off on the very first beat with this F, which would be an add 9. And then for the B flat 7 sus4, he starts on this F, which is already in the chord. He lands on this G on the strong beat, which would turn it into a B flat 7 6. And then we go into the D flat add 9. He starts off landing on this F on the strong beat, which is in the chord. And then he lands on this G. And then he repeats this G and E flat, which are not in the chord at all. Since it repeats, I may actually want to include it as part of the chord. This G would actually be a sharp 11 or sharp 4. That's a subjective choice if you want to actually include it as part of the chord. And then we land on this E flat. And finally we end the chorus with the A flat add 9 with this B flat. And then the melody goes like this. He sings this E flat first, which is in the chord. F is on a strong beat, which would turn it into a 6-9 chord, because the F is the 6 of A flat. He lands on this G, but it's kind of a passing note. Otherwise, it would add the major 7. I know we've talked about a lot in this one song in a short amount of time, but we're getting there. All we have to do is talk about the outro, which combines 2 previous sections of the song. Kind of have this verse section here, which is the E flat, and then it takes us into the B flat 7 sus4, B flat 7. But then we enter the section from the first transition, which is the E flat sus2 over G flat. And then we go into a regular A flat instead of adding any 9s. Oh man, there was a lot to talk about. Let's put it all together. What does it all mean? The subject of this song is nostalgia, memories. The whole song talks about the speaker's past with his friends and his school memories, all of that stuff. So it's all these memories packed into this one moment of nostalgia. And there's a whole lot of chords packed into this one moment of the song listening experience. Sometimes with these chords, the whole purpose is that it sounds good. And I believe, I hope you believe so too, that these 9 chords and all these crazy chords, they sound good. And if a chord sounds good, it feels good, and it makes you feel good. And that's the goal of the song, to make you feel good. The happiness has been spread around via the internet because this song turned into a meme. So now everybody's happy. The song not only is funny because it's a meme, but also because of these chords, it adds to this feeling of nostalgia. And in a few years, when we look back at this meme, it'll be even more nostalgia. It's Complicated by Avril Lavigne. It's in F major. So we start with D minor, B flat major, which I'm playing like this, inverted, but it can also be like this. We have F major, which again is inverted, C major. Then later on, we have D minor 7, B flat major 7. Then later on, we have G minor up here. Those are all the chords. Now let's talk about the melody. We start off with this F, jumping down to C. They're both in the chord, F, C, F, C. I think this B flat here is not in the chord, but it acts as a pivot to get down to this A, which is in the chord, and then jump down to this F. Then we go into D minor 7, which, if you'll notice, is F major, but with a D under it. Same melody line. Same thing, we have the F and the C, F and the C. Same thing with the pivot, and then the F is in there, and the A is in there. And then we go into B flat major, where the melody line slightly changes, but we still land on this C, which is not in the chord, and therefore acts as an add 9. So this is B flat add 9. Over a C chord, we jump in the melody from C to F. This would be an add 4 or add 11. And then furthermore, we jump up from this F to this A. Then we go into the pre-chorus, which begins with B flat major 7. Then the melody changes. This A is in there, passing over to G. We land on the F, so everything's fine. And then we go into D minor. Same thing, the A is in there, the F is in there. That loops again, and then we jump from there to C major. And the G is in the chord, so it's fine. Then we have the same chords as in the first verse once we enter the chorus, but the melody changes. So we're jumping between this A and the G. But this A is the strong beat, so we're not counting the G as part of the chord. B flat. Ooh, that's a major 7 chord. We have B flat major 7. And then we jump into F on the bottom with a G on top, which makes this an add 9. F, add 9. Then we go to C major. The first 2 times it's the same. Then the third time through, we have the same chords, but the melody changes. Here we have a D minor 7 because we have this C there. As we go into the B flat, the next chord, we have this C, making it an add 9. Then we go to F major, and both of these melody notes are in the chord. F and C, F and C. Then the same thing as before as we go into C major. And then this is where the G minor first appears. And we have this A over the G minor. And then we go into this G over the B flat, which makes it a B flat 6. And then those are all the chords. Then the verse repeats, and then the chorus repeats, and then that's it. What can we learn from this song? Why are there 9th chords in this song? At least for me, it's self-explanatory. It's complicated. So by introducing these complicated 9th chords, and 6th chords, and 7th chords, we are increasing the amount of complication of the song. And after 12... Alright, here we go. The last song of this video. It's You Can't Always Get What You Want by the Rolling Stones. It's in C major. Believe it or not, this song only has 3 chords in it that I could determine. C major, F major, and then we throw in a D major, which I think is kind of interesting. So the first chords go like this. That goes around 3 times, and then we have this D pop up seemingly out of nowhere. F major, C major. The melody itself, the vocal line, I wouldn't really notate that. Keith Richards sings it differently every single time. I'm just gonna stick to the recording. Instead, I want to talk about something that I hear in the guitar, if you listen closely. We land on this D, which is the 9th of the song. We have C add 9. A for the F chord, there's the A, there's the A. That loops 3 times, going into D major. Then that takes us to F major, C major. There are 2 interesting things in this song. One is that add 9 chord, and the second one is this D major that seems to come out of nowhere. Where does the D major come from? I think it comes from G major. I think what's going on here is that they're bringing in a chord from a related key, which is G major, but they just happen to choose D major. It's close enough to F major to make a good transition, because we start from here, and I can move my finger here, here, and keep this one here. So we go like this. And you kind of have this motion going on. I don't really know why they did that, but I think it was just to release the listener from the monotony of having C, F, C, F, to add some more emotion to the song. Because when you listen to the song, it is pretty emotional. Did you really get into it, especially at the end? And look at that, you've made it through the entire video. Congratulations. Thank you for sticking around, I seriously appreciate it. You're the best. If you have any other pop songs with 9th chords in them, or they don't even have to be pop songs to be honest, let me know and I may cover them in a future episode. That's if you think that there should be another episode. Let me know about that too. Feel free to follow me on the social medias, and to subscribe and like and all that stuff, and to share my videos and Please stay safe and healthy out there. Have a good day.